Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Nest, where I talk about everything Westfield State Athletics. I'm your host, Zach Peters. It's episode 5, which is crazy. It's already episode 5, but that means I only have one more episode after this one. Feels like time is flying by. As you know, the spring semester is ending. I will be graduating. But if you are new here and not sure how this show runs, I'll give you a quick breakdown here as we got the show breakdown on the screen. I'll do some team recaps, some game breakdowns, player spotlights, and a next game preview. Sometimes I tend to do the next game preview intertwined with the team recaps and how they're doing this season. Sometimes it's just more efficient that way, and it's right there when you're looking at the schedule. But in last episode, I talked about how each spring team did over spring break. They did, and then how they did in their recent performances as well. So, yeah, we'll mainly be focusing on the main 3 sports that we cover in our broadcast. As I am a sports broadcaster, I mainly be doing the color commentary. Sometimes I do the play-by-play, especially for lacrosse. But yeah, so we cover some track and field, but not a lot. We actually did just cover one that was here this weekend because track and field meets are mainly on the road. So obviously we only cover, our broadcast only covers our home events, home sporting events. So yeah, I'll jump into lacrosse first, then I'll do baseball, then I'll do softball. And I don't want to forget about track and field. They've been doing good. Shout out to Xavier Merkman, who just beat the school record in discus, actually. Very, very remarkable milestone for him. So shout out to him. Shout out to everyone on that track and field team. I know Eliza Lee's been doing good. Daniel Shea. They've been in the top long jumpers. So shout out to them. But it's not really like other sports where we can, really get into depth and break them down, and whereas you can with baseball, softball, even lacrosse. So, yeah, that's what we got going on for track and field. But yeah, we'll jump into lacrosse first to start the show, kick off the show with lacrosse, and they've been very good. I mean, it's pretty much been the same since last episode with the 3 main scorers, the 3 Musketeers in Marina Morales, Christina Roncardi, and Mercedes Rossi. They've been their main scorers. Kaylee Bush has been getting into the picture as well, filling that midi role because then Molly Pacheco is out. I know she has something going on with her knee. She did have a past injury last year with her ACL, so it's hopefully she's back soon. Hopefully she's not out for too long. But yeah, so let's go into lacrosse. I don't have a game breakdown for lacrosse this episode since all their games this week were actually on the road. Except the Bridgewater game that I'll be talking about was on Saturday, about a week ago. But yeah, so let's just jump right into that. As you see, they got a 7-7 record. You must be, they might be struggling a little bit, but no. Coach Pachulis loves to throw in non-conference games and not easy opponents by any means. He likes to put them against the top dogs, the top opponents in these non-conference games. As you can see, number 19 Williams, number 5 Amherst. They started the season against MIT. Hamilton, number 11 Colby. So they're playing very tough non-conference games, but it's a great strategy just to prepare them for conference play against those tougher opponents who are ranked. So I like the strategy. But yeah, as you can see in the schedule here, where we left off, I think we left off around, I want to say around here. So yeah, they lost to Colby pretty badly, but I mean, again, they're ranked 11 in the country in Division III. Took a huge victory against Framingham State. That was a phenomenal game. They were firing on all cylinders, defensively, offensively. Just batting the ball out of people's sticks and draw controls and making the free position shots that they need to make, and then also just countering on Framingham's mental mistakes when they would foul. Ron Karate had another impressive performance. Ron Karate had 6 goals. It seems like she's just averaging about 4 to 5 goals a game. Bush had 3. Rozzy also had 3. Excuse me, I thought I had sneeze. Oh, no. False alarm. Rozzy had 3 goals and an assist, and Andreessen also had a goal, 2 assists. She's one of their main feeders, as well as Heslin. Heslin, I know, is now, I think, struggling with some injury. And Morales had 2, and they just, they answered very well to that Framingham State team. They lost to them in the MASCAC semifinal last year, so a lot of bad blood, they wanted to get that back. They really wanted to, beat Framingham. And then they took a win against Eastern Connecticut. Big statement win, 17-10. That's normally a close game. I feel like normally they just barely lose. The past few years, they've barely lost to Eastern Connecticut, but that's a statement win, 17-10. 2 statement wins, really. And then winning against Mass Maritime, facing a tough Williams team, losing there, and then beating Bridgewater State by 2. Tough Bridgewater State team, but getting the victory, which, they will take any day of the week. It's a tough opponent. I did tune into the game. They didn't necessarily play how they normally play. They didn't play how they did against Framingham. And if we see that Owls team that we saw against Framingham, then I believe they're the team to beat. That team will win the MASCAC championship, no doubt, if we see that team. But yeah, I feel like they're feeling a little banged up a little bit, especially when they do play those tougher opponents. It's hard to keep up with them. But yeah, Owls started out with a 2-0 lead. Rozzy with the free position goal. Ron Karate with a goal on being a player up. And then Bridgewater answering back, and then Morales said, "No, thank you. I will answer back of my own." And then Ron Karate also scored unassisted, so it was 4-1. And then ultimately got to 6-2 after Rozzy's another free position goal. And then this is where, Bridgewater started to answer back a bit. It was 7-4. Then it was 8-4 from Ron Karate. And then they started to chip away a little bit. Then it got down to 8-6, and then 9-7. And then from there, Ron Karate scored a goal in the 4th period to make it give the Owls 10 goals on that game, which was enough to get the victory, and which didn't feel like such a, wasn't their best performance. But, a win's a win. They'll take that any day of the week, especially against a MASCAC opponent. Morales having 3 goals, Bush having 1, Rozzy having 2, and then Ron Karate with 4. And Izzy Conley, gotta give her a shout out, gotta give her a flower. She's been phenomenal this year for the Owls. She's been very good. So big win there. Then facing number 5 Amherst, they saw that coming. Just because that's such a tough team, very tough team. They are so fast. I've seen them play very quick, and they don't hesitate. They just keep dishing the ball off. And then a big win against Anna Maria. yeah, just keep winning those MASCAC games that they need to win. And then they play Salem tonight, which they should win, but also, it's not going to be easy. It could be similar to this Bridgewater game. It might be a little bit closer, but, look for those main three for the Owls be getting in the scoring. Bush has been, getting theirs too. McPhillips might even hop in there as well. And then O'Brien too. She normally isn't a scorer. She's normally just a feeder, and she's been getting in the scoring as well. Why not? So yeah, play Salem tonight at Salem State at 7:00. Yeah, I feel like the Owls should have that game. And then they play Worcester on Tuesday, which is going to be a dogfight. Those two are leading the MASCAC, both 4-0, both in first. But when you look at both of their results this year and go down their schedule and see who has won, who has beat maybe a team that, say the Owls have beat a team maybe Worcester have lost to. That's a good comparison to do. And then they end the season with Fitchburg, which is their senior day at 12:00 on Saturday the 25th, which should be a victory for them. But yeah, so the Owls off to a really hot start in terms of the MASCAC. Obviously, you see a 500 record being 7-7. I say, and they must be not doing so great, but they are. They're just playing tough opponents. But I like the strategy by Coach Pachulis to face those tougher opponents. It's great experience. Great experience. You gotta play the tough teams. You have to. So yeah, and then we'll just go into the MASCAC standings. Check this out a little bit. Also we'll go in depth. Check out this Worcester game is going to be so pivotal. I'm fortunate enough to be calling that game. I believe I'm doing that with Zach Bianco. That should be a good one. But yeah, Worcester, they're the defending MASCAC champions, and they want to go back to back. They want to keep winning. But Westfield, they got a lot of firepower, and obviously they want it back too after how last season ended. But yeah, so it's pretty much just Worcester and Westfield. Salem, Fitchburg, having a good run. Normally they're kind of down. Fitchburg's normally down here. Mass Maritime, Anna Maria struggling a bit. Bridgewater normally up there in contention, but they've been struggling. They faced Worcester, which is obviously tough, and then they played Westfield as well, the two top teams in the conference, and then Framingham. So you can really never count these four teams out. Salem, Fitchburg, Framingham. Fitchburg's normally down here, so never know that. But there is that battle for the one spot for the first seed, which I think is going to come down to that game. Obviously, I think whoever wins that game on Tuesday is pretty much going to be locked in for the one seed for the MASCAC. But yeah, let's just check out Worcester's schedule as of late. Yeah, as we see, we'll go into March, start in chronological order here of when these games were played. But you see, they lost to Eastern Connecticut, whereas if you go back to the Owls schedule, I think I just went by it. Right there. Eastern Connecticut. The Owls actually won, and they didn't win. They didn't barely win. They won by 7 points. They won 17-10, whereas Bridgewater lost 19-15. Worcester lost 19-15. So there's kind of one. It's like, okay, maybe the Owls have the upper hand, since they have they've won that game, whereas Worcester has lost against a team that they maybe should have beat, or that the Owls beat. It's always interesting. And then they just snuck out a victory in overtime against Bridgewater, 16-15, whereas the Owls, they didn't need overtime. They won 10-8. Obviously it's still a close game, but it gives it's some promise too. And then you look at their most recent game, where they took a 14-10 victory, beating Framingham by only 4 points, whereas the Owls won by 9. So you look at those three games and you're seeing wow, these Owls might have the upper hand. They seem stronger against these opponents, especially those MASCAC opponents as well. So, yeah, I think it's obviously still going to be a very close game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that Owls team that we saw against Framingham. They want to win that game bad. They want to be the 1 seed, especially they want to be playing at home too, because if you look here, they've been pretty good at home. They're 4-2 at home. They played They played MIT and Colby were the 2 teams they lost to at home. So those are very tough opponents. But the games that they've played here at home that have counted for a conference, they've won. So, these Owls are doing a great job. They're mainly led by Christina Roncarati. Rozzie's right behind her, and then Morales too, the young bright star. We'll just go in. Let's see. Let's look at some statistics here. Might as well just stick to the MASCAC. We'll go to the MASCAC statistics. See who's leading there, and you can see Roncarati leading the charge with goals, 48 goals, and behind her is her own teammate, Marina Morales. And you got to go all the way back to 33 goals to get the next player, and that's James for Framingham, and then Donahue at 32 for Worcester. But then leading an assist is Worcester's player, Wazowski, and then Ron Karate leading in points by 61, but Wazowski's right there. So Wazowski's, catching up. So they've got those top players as well. And then as well for Salem, Young, making a charge of her own. So yeah, it's closer than what people think. You see Ron Karate's got 61 points. You think she's, leading by a storm, but it's really close. It's only separated by 4 points. And then shots, Ron Karate leading that category is 79, Morales is 71. So the Owls are doing a good job at getting shots on net, and they also are very efficient making those shots count and scoring goals. These Owls are led by those 2, and then Rozzy too as well, with her captain presence, that demeanor she brings to the field. Also just playing good defense as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for lacrosse. Again, no game breakdown for you in this episode. Just because, they've just been on the road and we only cover home games, and we have only access to clipping those home games. But yeah, if you also want to check anything out at Westfield State Athletics, go to Westfield State Athletics.owls.com to just access all this, access all the, you can access the broadcast as well. Just go to what game you want to watch, and right at the bottom underneath, there should be a video link you should be able to click on, and it just takes you right to the broadcast. Now we'll switch gears and we'll go over to baseball. They actually have a game today. They are playing Framingham State. Framingham actually has been struggling as of late, but as we see here, baseball team 9-18, 6-6 in the conference, which they had originally started 0-4 in the conference. So a good bounce back there. You're winning, the games you need to win, and especially at the point of the season that you need to win them, not digging yourself in a hole. But yeah, where we left off last episode, with the Fitchburg just taking that loss, and then that Worcester game was very tough. They got swept by Worcester. Close games too, losing 2-1, 7-6, and then 9-4. That one was more of a blowout. I was at your home field too, so that's tough to see. Worcester's got Westfield's number this year in baseball, and then getting a needed victory, bouncing back against Fitchburg State, winning 11-3, and then 8-3, and then that Keene State game was postponed, and then facing a tough Skidmore team, always tough, and then sweeping MCLA in a 2-game series, 9-0, then 6-3. So yeah, I guess winning the games that they should win, which is so important, and then winning against Anna Maria, who is, in second in the conference, is right there. So that's very promising too. Yeah, let's look at this game here. You can see the Owls scored 4 in the second after Anna Maria scored 3 of their own. So good job by them answering back. And and then from there, they just kept hitting and put up a 4 spot in the 6th inning. And that was enough to seal the victory. It seems like everyone sitting there, Palmer, Racine, Lenfest, they've been their 3 guys in the lineup. Lenfest just can get on base with his contact, but also, via walk as well. Novak, didn't do too great. He's kind of been struggling, only went 2 innings. And then Quinn Gallagher went 2, Peters went 3. I don't know if we're not related. I mean, it's cool to see someone that has the same last name as me. I feel like Peters isn't a common name at all. Shout out to him, getting the job done, pitching good solid 3 innings. But then losing the next 2 to Anna Maria, a tough team, and that one, game 2 just barely losing 5-1, and then losing another close one, 7-4, and then beating MCLA 13-1 in a game, they needed to really win. I've got a game breakdown too, as I got some game highlights I'm going to show you guys. I'll break down that game, how that went. I mean, bit of a blowout. So not going to be very entertaining, but it'll definitely it's definitely cool to kind of go in depth and check that out. And then here we got game today here at 3:00. So that's just taking off in just over an hour, almost exactly an hour from now. That game will be first pitch will be underway. And this is a series these Owls got to at least take 2 or 3. I mean, they really want to sweep here. They really want to take these 3 games since this is an opponent they should beat. Because then you go into the tough opponents in Bridgewater. Mass Maritime's always tough, and then Salem's been tough as well. So a tough rest of the season, tough schedule for these Owls. And speaking of that, we'll go into some MASCAC standings for baseball. Pretty much the same drill as we did for lacrosse. But then this way you guys get a inside look here of where they stand when it comes to the conference. Bridgewater is just out ahead with Anna Maria right behind them. Bridgewater 12-1, Anna Maria 10-2 in the conference. Worcester's been good too. So those 3 really just at the top and really they're just the top 3 teams. But then once you get underneath them, you got Salem, Westfield, and Mass Maritime. And really these 3, anyone can. They're all. It's a 3-way battle for the 4 spot in the MASCAC, and really anyone can take it. So that's why this series coming up against Framingham is so important. I mean, you see they're struggling as of late. They're 7-19, with a 4-11 record in the conference. So Westfield love to win that series. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's baseball. Anything can happen. Victory. They need to win a series. They need to take at least 2 games from. We'll see what happens. And then they face that Salem team to end the season. And they're hoping it doesn't come down to that series to see who gets a spot in the playoffs or for battling a better seed. Hopefully Westfield can just keep winning games so they don't have to worry about that, especially these MASCAC games as well. That Bridgewater game, the Bridgewater series is going to be tough. I mean, if you get a sweep here, that's awesome. You'd love to split with Mass Maritime, and then Bridgewater, you would love to just get one win. If you can take two, if you can try to take all three, that's amazing. That's awesome. But you don't want to get swept here. You just really want to win that one game. And then Maritime, just that one, also want to win too. And then this one, you would love to take, 2 out of 3 as well. So yeah, that's how the Owls are looking so far. So tough rest of the season for them. But when it comes to their stat leaders, we got Racine, who's leading the charge in batting average, Palmer right behind him, and then Lenfest. So those three have really just been, taking it off for them. And yeah, Racine's been solid, same as Palmer. They're the top power bats. And yeah, we'll go into that game breakdown of that baseball game. Just got to pull it up here. So, yeah, I mean, obviously a victory. The Owls should win. I might skip through a bit since it was a bit of a blowout as the Owls won 13-1. Jeremy Trottier was on the call for this game. You see the Trailblazers versus the Owls. And great start to the game, scoring a run with no one out. Palmer getting the early RBI and getting the second. And then Lenfest at third. Then comes up the power bat of Racine.
He's going to swing on that one deep into the center.
Racine does his job, just puts it in the outfield, gets the sac fly. Palmer would advance third.
The Owls take a 2-0 lead, just
and
the one out.
2-0 lead early with just one out.
The pitcher and leadoff today.
And then this one, this is an interesting play here. I'm going to move my move that over, just so you guys can see a little bit better. But yeah, here we get a pickoff attempt. Interesting decision by the pitcher, especially because he is a lefty. So obviously when you're a lefty, your back is facing the runner at third. Got runners first at third. So interesting decision to do pickoff. Normally first and third, the catcher has a play. There's an infield play, first and third play, where they will fake like they're throwing down, or they will throw down, or shortstop will come in and cut it off, or maybe even the pitcher will cut it off. But yeah, just interesting decision here. Palmer did not waste any time. No time whatsoever. He saw he made a move to first, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go home. I'm going to force you to make a throw. And the pitcher spikes it here. That one gets away. Palmer scores easily. And the Owls go up 3-0.
Slides through first base there. Good pitch there. Gets the swing. Got to get through the backstop, though.
And then that one was also another interesting play. Looked like it was foul, as you heard JT say that as well. Looked to be foul, but just swung and missed a little early and goes to the backstop. And MCLA scores their first run of the game. And then the Owls start just tacking on runs.
He's going to walk in home. He was already 3/4 of the way to third by the time the bat got to the ball.
Good job. Good base running by Lenfest. This one just goes through the third baseman and the shortstop, finds a hole. Now Martin trying to steal home here. Which makes sense when you see it, because pitcher is going from the windup, so obviously his motion takes a little bit longer if he was to go from the stretch. So Martin was like, I'm going to try to steal one here. You can see he's taking a big secondary, keep going, shuffling. He's like, I'm going to just bolt home, hope he makes a good throw, which he does. And Martin's out by a mile. Racine's like, what are you doing? Trying to get some RBIs here.
And
instead, that's the end of the inning. It's 5-1 game. A little careless there on Martin's part, but I understand trying to take one away.
And the pinch hitter's gonna pay
Base
off.
hit here.
Score Racine.
Scores.
And first pitch swinging from the first-year player, able to draw in a run, make it a 6-1 lead for the Owls.
The Owls just keep tallying on runs. Pass ball, run scores.
See another one advance the third. Finding the zone. That one gonna be
and then the
low,
walks
no
just start coming.
His walk once again. Average. And that pitch, you see. Palmer didn't even look at it. It had already started to shed off the elbow guard.
Just back-to-back walks to drive in a run, and the Owls just keep tallying on.
Good position. That one's going to get through. Score
up 10-1. Another pass ball. Scores a run. Now up 11-1.
Gonna be swung on there. It gets up the middle, but the shortstop gonna have a
Owls just did a good job.
Taking
care of business here, and winning this game.
To see what they have in a lot of these players. That one gonna be fouled.
And then Racine for the final out. All they need to do is get 3 outs as they got a huge cushion. And yeah, the Owls win this one 13-1. And good job by getting the bats going again, and taking care of business. That's pretty much it for baseball. Again, tough rest of the season, but they got to win these next couple games. Very important to take away the series, win this series against Framingham. And that starts today. They got to get a victory today. Weather isn't the greatest after we've had pretty much a tease of summer. We've had 80-degree weather here at Westfield. Yesterday was beautiful, around 85 degrees. But yeah, today it's around 65 degrees, with some drizzles in the air. And I think we might see some thunderstorms as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that game potentially gets called. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's it for baseball. And now we'll just keep it going, and we'll jump into softball, which I purposely waited to do them last in the show, just because there's more to talk about. They had more home games as well, and they're also just firing on all cylinders. They're pitch perfect, really. Well, they are. They haven't lost the game this season after facing a tough Western New England team yesterday. I was actually on the call for that game with Cody Shalfu. Cody's a great guy, great person to work with, great mentor as well. So if anyone's looking for a play-by-play guy, just go reach out to him. Cody Shalfu does great work here for us, but also just is a great person, a great announcer. But yeah, we'll get into softball. Like I said, they're still perfect. Last episode, we highlighted their spring break and how they were doing during spring break. Last show was towards the end of March. Got a great couple of wins, beating Mazcac rival in Worcester State, who is the Mazcac defending champions, not just in lacrosse but also in softball too, and now in men's basketball, who just won it this season. Getting a big win. 10-1 is a statement win, and then winning 4-1, getting the job done. That one was close. And then beating a tough Smith College team, and then beating Fitchburg like they should. except that second game was very close. At times it looked like Fitchburg was going to win, and everyone's like, no way, their first loss of the season was going to be to Fitchburg. But they all ultimately powered through the adversity and get the win off Sarah Hough's walk-off home run, which I was on the call for that as well. That happened on last Wednesday. And they've just been great at home. They've been great all year. Just shout out to them, getting some big victories against Anna Maria conference games, and then MCLA winning 21-1, which is just a beatdown. And then obviously finishing that second game off 7-1, and then a tough Western New England team, winning a close game 7-6, and at a point it was 5-1, and then Western New England made a good run, and then it was 6-5 in favor of Western New England, and then the Owls, answered back on Kassidy LaTour, two RBI single. I believe I want to say there was 2 outs too. Yeah, 2 out, 2 RBI single. And I have those highlights as well. So we'll do a game breakdown of those games. But yeah, going into the box score. Yeah, as you see here, Josh Meddy had a pretty good performance, and it was actually funny because I was originally scheduled to work just game 2 since I had class. But I got there right after class, and I got to work a little bit of the end of the first game as well. It's like right when I got there, though, that's when Western New England started doing good, and it was like I had some announcer's curse, but they ultimately walked it off, and I've actually seen 2 walk-offs now when I've been announcing. So when there is bad luck, there is good luck too, and I was ultimately proving that that they can get it done when their back is against the wall. But yeah, LaTour 3 RBIs. Meddy went 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 of those earned. Just another solid performance. And then Schaefer came in, only went a third of an inning and struggled. 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 of those earned, 2 walks. So just got to minimize the walks because that's what's adding in those extra runs. Then Bertulli coming in to shut it out, and she's been phenomenal. She's 8-0 on the year, getting the win in that first game. But then also Riley Kane did a good job pitching as well. Also hit pretty well too. So did her best impression of Shohei Ohtani, doing it on the mound and in the batter's box. And then in game 2, Owls winning 5-2. So a little bit of a more calmer game, not as nerve-wracking as that game 1. Even though it was, close. They were still battling back, still trying to fight back. It was 2-1, and then they took a 32 lead, and then ultimately taking a 5-2 lead and winning that game. And I believe Bertulli getting 2 wins in one day in 2 games. So good job for her. Bacon did her job, did what she had to do. The freshman, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, and 1 walk. So good job by her to keep the walks down. And then Bertulli doing her job, pitching 4 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 hits. 5 hits, 0 runs, 0 earned, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. So not as many as that first game. She had 4 strikeouts in that game 1. We'll go into. I'm trying to think. Let's just do the game breakdown, and then we'll go into the MASCAC standings, and then what else they've got for this season in terms of their schedule, as the season is slowly starting to wrap up. Sorry, just trying to pull this up here. Alrighty, here we go. Sorry about that. Got game 1. Western New England versus Westfield State Owls.
Here's the ground ball. Is it double play worthy? Hough steps on the bag and won't be in time.
So yeah, the
first run of the game goes to Western New England.
The Golden Bears is doing a good job putting the ball in play. Fielder's choice there. But Kassidy LaTour did a good job. Just putting in play herself.
It's high. And
beats the throw.
The first baseman off the base. That's
and good hustle by her, especially with 2 outs. Making sure she gets there, score the run.
Jump up to get it. And it ties the ball game. Leading home run hitter doesn't play second base.
And we got 1-1 game. This one thrown down.
And a great
somehow LaTour dodges the tag, and Alfonso comes in. That's an easy run for her to just go home, but you know, it looked like LaTour was going to be out at second. As you can see here, she did her best job at weaving that tag and, you know, ultimately getting the second pace and being safe.
No. I think
great agility by her.
It would have ended the inning without the run scoring. Seems like the 35th straight year. That one's on a line, picked up by
and just great play by the shortstop, but throw is just sails a little bit, a little too high.
Dugout,
and 2 runs score on that throwing error, and Hough will go to second, so now it's a 4-1 game.
Absolutely belted. You need a hurricane to keep that one in the yard. LaTour goes yard in the 3rd.
An absolute moonshot by LaTour. My goodness, she's been so good in the box. So go back and watch this. Let me move my. Let me move here so I'm not in the. So I'm not in the way. There we go. So it's easier for you guys to see.
In time actually sails into the dugout.
That's when they scored those 2 runs on the throwing error. And then LaTour
this one
just times that up perfectly. You know, she's got such a powerful stance and very fundamental swing. You know, loads on that back foot, times up the pitcher, beginning to step when that ball releases, gets the foot down in time, and now it's just her hips and her hands going to the ball, and just great launch angle too. Just destroys that ball. Was all the way up, halfway up that tree, which is just so impressive to do. You can see there, it hits like right around here.
That one in the yard.
Moonshot.
LaTour goes yard in the 3rd.
Yeah, and LaTour, Hough, Wadecki, Alfonso, those 4 doesn't get any easier as you go down the lineup.
Missile into the woods in left field. In play.
And then this is where Golden Bears start to rally.
The second on its way. A good throw. And
good throw by LaTour, but just a little too late. 2 runs come in.
A single and a pair of RBI makes it 5-3
for the Golden Bears.
Speedy Brooks
making a bit of a comeback here, and they keep adding to it.
Hough has nowhere to go with it.
In this top of the 5th.
Infield single.
Under a command.
And this one
find some grass
falls down.
High ball game, a big
and
rally
just like that, the
here
Golden Bears
for the Golden
tie it up,
Bears.
scoring
Whip.
a pair.
In the left field.
Good job by the Golden Bears batter to.
And that's exactly what they will do. And
Barnhart
WNE, a big
do her job
fifth,
just to get it into the outfield. Almost put it out.
And then back to
and then
back. 3 up, 3
Barnhart
down.
doing it in the
dive
plate,
and
but
the
also
catch.
in the field.
She's been great, going to the left, going to the right.
Makes a diving catch
Barnhart robs extra bases from LaTour.
to prevent any rally for these Owls.
It gets through. They
LaTour
got
next time
Wadecki.
gets
The
up to
throw
the plate,
comes in from left
puts
field.
one
It
into
is
left field, and
not
throw
in
looked to
time,
beat
not in-
her, but the call was that it was catcher's interference. As we'll, slowly go back here. You see everyone celebrating. WNE coach cannot believe it. This one coming down to the wire. Great throw. I thought this was a bit of an aggressive send. But gotta do what you gotta do. It's gotta be perfect, but it was a perfect throw. But it was worth the gamble. And as you can see there, Wadecki's got nowhere to go. Catcher's hovering right over the plate. It's kind of an easy call, but they say she's safe, and the Owls stay perfect.
Not in time. They score 2. The perfect season marches on.
So that is it for game 1, and it was a entertaining one, to say the least. So shout out to the Owls, facing some adversity, but answering when they need to. And let's not waste any time. We'll get right into game 2 of these highlights. Here we go. Yep, game 2 here.
Territory in right field. Have yourself a day. This one hammered up the middle. That's going to potentially play to run. The throw comes
Beautiful
in.
day at
It
Westfield.
is not cut off. The throw into
And
second base is not in
Western
time
New England
either.
scores first
Daniel
yet again.
and Barnhart in the
But
outfield.
the
That's
Owls
going to
answer
go into
right
center field
back.
and score our first run for Westfield.
Alf-
But that is
Huff
not
gets
in
there, and
time.
Alfonso knocks
O'Donnell-
her in.
Alfonso, is going to single home the first run for the Owls. Good spot to bring up your leadoff hitter.
And then just a
Alfonso with the
phenomenal
dive. She
play
makes the catch.
by Mia
One
Alfonso.
run will score, but hey, there's a
Normally-
catcher out there.
Normally she's behind the dish. Normally she's catching, or she's a designated player and will just hit. But LaTour was in catching that game, and I guess he wanted to try something out and threw Alfonso in the outfield, and it paid off. And if anyone questioned how she is as an outfielder, well, she answered any of those doubts right there with this diving catch. Just completely lays out, full scorpion dive, and nothing feels better than making a diving catch. I played center field as well when I played baseball, and I was quicker, so I definitely wasn't afraid to put my body on the line, and I would make those catches, and I miss it. I definitely miss it, and it was such a good feeling, because everyone's like, "How'd you do that? How'd you do that? That's so cool." But it's just like you can say you hit a home run, but making a diving catch, it's like that's rare.
With the dive, she makes the catch.
But a run
One
does
run
come in
will
to score.
score.
She's definitely potentially.
But hey, there's a catcher out there.
She definitely potentially scored 2 runs scoring instead of just 1, and would have been still 0, no outs.
Still the sprint of spring.
Great job
still upon us.
by Alfonso.
No
Make a
man's
great
land,
play,
but Hough
and
is there to track it down. She has
the
a play at
defense
first.
has just been
O'Donnell.
great. I mean, everything's been great for this softball team, for this Westfield State team. They're hitting, they're pitching, but they're also making the plays in the field. We've seen so many web gems and so many highlights this season.
Got her. Double play.
And they're,
Hough chasing it
since they are 26-0, they were finally awarded
down.
number 25 spot. As you can see on the
This one
scoreboard, they're ranked number
absolutely
25th
hammered.
in the
Will stay
country.
ballpark, but one off the
Division
wall.
3.
They're going to send Wadecki home. The throw comes in and gets cut off. And
Yeah, Owls do a good
RBI
job answering
double
after
as LaTour
Golden Bears
keeps her
scored.
Good day rolling. Hough lifts it left field.
And then
It's there.
Hough
It's gone. Fair ball.
It's yet another homer, her sixth of the year.
And the Owls take the lead in the 5th.
For the Owls to take the lead. And she's been great too. LaTour and Hough have been the top hitters for these Owls. They've been doing a great job at hitting in gaps, getting in outfield grass, but also hitting it out of the ballpark. Huff's got 6 and LaTour's got
right at the
4.
top of the wall.
I thought this was gone off the bat. This had the trajectory, it had the angle, it had the sound too. And O'Donnell just missed this, and this was just a great play by the outfielder to try to get there. Great attempt, but just misses it. I don't know if it trickled off her glove or her wrist potentially. But yeah, it's just a great attempt.
Right at the top of the wall.
O'Donnell gets 2 RBIs on that double.
6 or 7 inches. She gives the wave at second base. 2 runs for O'Donnell. Lugo right back in the middle. It's
and
caught.
This great play by Bertulli to double them up, but also to not hesitate. As when you're young playing, you're taught to know where to go with the ball as soon as it hits you, or before it hits you, excuse me. And Bertulli, knew the situation, knew there was a runner at first and second, and something in the air, especially a line out, something fast at you, go right to second, check on that runner, try to get that lead runner out. That's exactly what she did. You can see, catches it, goes right to second. And, the runner's is caught in no man's land. She's already taking her secondary. Obviously could have got the out at first. Runner's almost halfway down, but you want to get the lead runner. And that's exactly what she does. Slack covers the bag. Runner gets back to the base just in time at first. And
turn 3, but
and this is where something interesting happens, where runner just comes off the base. Not sure what was going on or what the thought process was there, but see, good hustle by Slack to get there. You can see, slow it down. The glove is on the foot. She's off the base. So that's a missed call there. Obviously, that's a tough one. Kind of wish we had that replay, showing the umpires. That would have been obviously a triple play. That would have been phenomenal, and that doesn't happen very often. But what these Owls are doing this season, they're breaking history. And, if there's a time to do it, it would be this season. It would be now, because they're breaking all kinds of records. So as an asterisk, I guess it goes down as a triple play, but truly is a triple play, but it was called only a double play. But great hustle, almost about half a foot off the base. And the whole baseball team was there behind home plate, and they did not like that call whatsoever.
Safe.
Just great job too by Slack to get there, but
they got
also good job by the baseball team to just support. These softball players are rolling right now, and it's cool to watch them play.
And it blew it right
and
by
Bertulli was just so dominant today, and so dominant in this game. Gets the strikeout, gets the save, gets the win. And the Owls win.
They come through. Westfield State, a great job here in game number 2. They win this one 5-2, won game 1 7-6, and a great afternoon here at the ballpark.
Yeah, and shout out to Cody again. He's great announcer. Does a great job. Yeah, and that's for the game breakdowns. The Owls get the victory, and they remain perfect. And, obviously there's that pressure there. They still want to stay perfect. So sometimes, they might feel a little better if they do get a loss, so that pressure is released, and so they don't have to worry about, okay, we have to keep the streak going. We have to keep winning. but you don't want to lose to any of these teams because they're MASCAC teams. You want to take away the MASCAC standings and be the clear 1 seed. Framingham, obviously, still it's going to be a tough task. Framingham's always pretty competitive, pretty good. Mass Maritime, Wesleyan, and then Bridgewater, tougher game. And then there's some non-conference games, and then they end the season against Salem. So, yeah, these games will be on Saturday against Framingham. I will be calling that game with Oliver. First game is at 12. Second game is at 2. Those should be a good game. I believe Meddy will go game 1. Vertuli might come in at close, or Schaefer will go in. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bakun, maybe Schaefer to start game 2, depending on how game 1 goes, and then Vertuli to close, or even Vertuli just to start game 2 and try to go as long as she can. Because she's got a sub-1 ERA. I think she's around 0.6. Around, I want to say she's around there, and that's just so impressive. She doesn't let up a run, and so when she's out there, you feel great when you're in the box, because if you score runs, you feel like you're gonna win that game. But yeah, now we'll go into the MASCAC standings, and then we'll look at some stats too, and the MASCAC for softball, and then we'll wrap up the show with a player spotlight. So yeah, it's episode 5. We've only got one more after this. I've had a blast doing these shows. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I appreciate all the feedback, all the positive feedback. I know a lot of people have liked the game breakdowns. I think everyone likes to tune into those and enjoy seeing that other perspective as well, and really going into depth and breaking things down. So yeah, let's go into these MASCAC standings. As of course, Westfield is leading 8-0 in the conference. Salem, still knocking at the door for that 1 spot, 6-2. So that series, the Owls, they got to win that one and to really seal the deal for the 1 spot. And then Worcester 7-3 and Framingham 7-3. So that Framingham game should be tough. Still going to be a close battle. I mean, it always is. Last season in the MASCAC playoffs, they faced off, and what should have been at Westfield was at Framingham due to rain. The fields were not playable here, so whereas Framingham, they have a turf field, so it obviously you can still play when it rains. So it felt like a home game for Framingham when they didn't even get the 1 seed, which is just tough how it goes, tough how it unfolded, how the cookie crumbled there. So hopefully they don't have to face any sort of factors like that this year, and they get the true 1 seed. And I guarantee you, if something like that happens, Coach Hough will stick up for his players and be like, no, let's wait this out until we get our well-deserved 1 seed and our home field advantage, because home field advantage is really a big difference in baseball and softball, for sure. And then, looking at stats too, for the MASCAC, it's pretty much a sea of blue, with LaTour leading in average at 486. It's right at 500, and it seems like it just keeps going up each game. And so basically 5 out of 10 times she gets up to bat, she gets a hit, and that's just impressive. And, Salem's got some people out here as well, right behind LaTour and Osman for the Owls, and as well as Framingham. So, still got to look out for the MASCAC opponents. Obviously you get ranked into the 25th spot. You feel good about your conference. You must be like, oh, it's not close. Well, this, and that. No, it's still close. They're still, Salem's still giving the Owls a run for their money, as well as Framingham. They're not out of it, and as well as Worcester. So, yeah, I mean, Hough and LaTour, we'll talk about them in just a moment. Hough with 36 RBIs, LaTour with 28, and then Slack and Alfonso in there with 27, right behind them. 4 of the 5 top RBI leaders in the MASCAC are Westfield State Owls. And then we go over the home runs. It's pretty much the same thing. 4 out of the 5 home run leaders in the MASCAC are Owls. Hough with 6, Slack with 5. Normally, coming into the season, people did not think she was going to be hitting this many home runs, have this much pop. But, she's doing a great job at putting the ball in the air, getting that right launch angle, and showing that she has true power with 5 home runs, and LaTour and Alfonso with 4. And then with stolen bases, the Owls don't really, I guess, need stolen bases because they'll get runners on, then they'll hit the home runs or they'll knock them in before they even have the chance to get a stolen base. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the MASCAC statistics and for softball as well. So, yeah, they're just on a roll, and they want to just keep the ball rolling. They want to just keep winning. Obviously, they want to keep that streak alive. But, yeah, especially against MASCAC opponents, they just want to keep winning because it still is close. Salem is still right there. And, they end the season with Salem. But, yeah, now we'll get into the last segment of the show, and that will be our player spotlight. Last show we had 3 players to spotlight. We had Ron Karate, Wadecki, and Izzy Conley. So 2 out of 3 were lacrosse players. And it's not that they're not doing well. They are. They're still doing the same things they're doing. But, obviously I want to try to pick someone new for each show. So, it was kind of easier to pick this one because of how well this team is doing. And it's going to go to Kassidy, LaTour, and Sarah Hough, who have just been raking the ball this season, and they've been so dominant in the batter's box, but also in the field. LaTour behind the dish and in left field, but also Sarah Hough making the plays at shortstop, as you saw in that game breakdown, had a double play. So yeah, these girls have just been hitting the ball, and they're hitting almost 500, both of them, and combined they have 10 home runs, and I feel like that tally is just going to grow and grow. They still have a decent amount of games left. So yeah, shout out to them. They're just firing on all cylinders. It's hard not to give them the player spotlight when you're batting almost 500, when you're hitting home runs, when you're making plays in the field, and when your team is undefeated 26 games into the season. It's just such an impressive milestone, impressive season, because we can't even say impressive start to the season anymore. We're more than halfway in, and they look to eclipse their record of 32 wins, with the most wins in a season, which was actually last year. And they're definitely on pace. They're already at 26, so they need just 7 more wins to beat that record. And it's definitely doable, especially how this team has been playing as of late. And it seems like Coach Hough just knows what to do. He's a win. He knows how to win. And they just keep breaking records each season. And this season has been just breaking so much history. It's been such a remarkable season, and all these players should be proud. All these coaches should be proud as well. So shout out to them. And that's pretty much going to do it for the show. Hope you guys did enjoy episode 5 of Inside the Nest. Got only one more show after this, and that will take place in roughly 2 weeks. I've loved doing these shows. I've had such a fun time. I love talking about sports, and I love hearing your guys' feedback, your guys' support. And don't be afraid to drop in the comments what you guys want to see, anything differently, or what you guys enjoy seeing, or if you guys even have any ideas. So hope you guys did enjoy this episode. We've got a bunch of games today and tomorrow. And it's a great job for these. It's a great opportunity for these Owls to get some wins. And like they say, it's a great day to be an Owl. So thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Zach Peters. Have a good one.